Good morning, 112. So today for social studies, or for this week, you're going to be learning about one of our most famous U.S. presidents, which was George Washington, the very first president of the United States. I'm going to go ahead and read this for you. George Washington is regarded as the father of our country. He guided America and helped it evolve into the nation that is today. Before becoming president, Washington led the Continental Army to victory, winning American independence from Britain during the Revolutionary War. After the war ended, he was a key player at the convention that drafted the United States Constitution. Finally, as president, Washington's leadership solved many problems. It showed people that the Constitution could work to govern a new nation. America was a very different place back in Washington's time. The nation was small and weak. There were only 11 states in the U.S. when Washington took office. When he left after 2 terms, there were 16. The country only stretched as far as the Mississippi River. Most people farmed and struggled to make a living. Many children never went to school. Most adults could not read or write. Communication and transportation were slow and difficult. It took days for Washington to travel the distance covered in a couple of hours by car today. Most Americans loved Washington for the way he handled hardship. As a general, he lost many battles and suffered greatly. Washington never gave up, even during the bitter winters when he and his troops had barely enough food for supplies to survive. Washington's officers admired his loyalty and strength so much that they wanted to make him king. Washington refused. Today, George Washington is honored in many ways. His face adorns America's dollar bill and its quarter. Both Washington State and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., are named after the first president. The bridge that stretches across the Hudson River from New Jersey to New York is named George Washington Bridge. It is located exactly where Washington crossed the Hudson with his troops to defeat British forces. Perhaps one of Washington's officers expressed America's feelings about Washington best. He was first in war, first in peace, and first in the hearts of his countrymen. Now you have some multiple choice questions. George Washington led soldiers in which war? Don't forget to go back. Look for your answer. Don't guess. What does the author describe at the end of the passage? America was very different during George Washington's lifetime. What evidence from the passage supports this conclusion? So, what part of the story or of this passage proves to you that America was very different during the time that George Washington lived? How can America's feelings about George Washington best be described? What is this passage mostly about? Read the following sentence. George Washington's face adorns America dollar bill and its quarter. What does the word adorn mean as it's used in the sentence? So, when we adorn something, we are making it look better. We are making it look fancier. We are making sure that it does not look plain. That's just a hint for you. Choose the answer that best completes the sentence below. Now, here's where you have an open-ended question. This means that you have to write sentences. Why did most Americans love George Washington? And we need to restate, most Americans loved George Washington because, use the information from your story. What did Washington's presidential leadership show the people of America? Washington's presidential leadership showed the people of America that, what did it show them? Go back to the story. And here, explain how George Washington helped America evolve into the nation it is today. Support your answer with 2 examples from the passage. So, how did George Washington help create the America that we know today? What did he do to help this country become what it is today? I wanted to remind you guys of something. When you need help in your reading, you could also go into, let's see, where were you? I want to show you that you can go into where they can read the selection for you. Let me just remember where it is. Design, layout. Where did it go, guys? Sorry, I just don't remember where it is. Review, check. Ah, here we go. So you want to go to review up here. Then you want to go to read aloud right here. And it will read it for you when you need help. Press play. Let's see what's going on here. Huh.
Washington. George Washington is regarded as the father of our country. He guided America and helped it evolve into the nation that it is today. Before becoming president, Washington led the Continental Army to victory, winning American independence from Britain during the Revolutionary War.
Now, when you want it to stop, press the X. So we'll try that one more time for you guys. So you want to go to review on the top. Then you want to go to read aloud.
After the war ended, he was a
And
key
it will read
player
it for
at the
you.
convention that drafted the United States Constitution.
You could pause. You could go back.
George Washington is regarded as the
Pause. And then you could X out. So that's to help you besides the video. Okay, good luck. Don't forget to email back to me.